really that, I suppose, acts as a link to the last topic. We said we were going to ask the panel a little bit around sort of how we manage team resilience. So Andrea and Laura, you both shared some really good examples there of how we can manage your own personal resilience and the support you draw upon and the activities you do to help you do that. But for leaders, there is that additional responsibility for us to develop resilience in our teams. So what would you say, firstly, are the key responsibilities for leaders when it comes to developing resilience? And secondly, can you share some of your own experiences of what has worked well for you? So Andrea, perhaps you could pick that one up first.
Yeah, so I think everybody would agree that communication is always important as a leader. And I think it's particularly important in times of change or uncertainty. So it's not just about communicating, but it's about the message and about being consistent. So I think we've all seen sort of Boris as the leader of our country create a level of uncertainty in the mixed messages that is provided, I'm going to say. But what has been consistent has been the core message in terms of the straplines that we've seen across all of the briefings that have happened daily. So the first thing for me would be about being consistent. Decide on what the message is, decide on what the situation is, and provide guidance to the team in relation to that. I don't think there's ever a situation where you can communicate too much, and certainly that would be the key, because it's about providing security and clarity in times of uncertainty for your team around you. In addition to that, I think it's also about remembering who you are as a person. We're all human and we're all going to have our individual challenges and struggles. So I think it's absolutely fine to show a level of vulnerability within the communication and share how some of the situations that we find ourselves in are also difficult for us as leaders. We aren't suddenly going to have all of the solutions all of the time, but through giving a lens to people of who we are and how we're managing through this, and sharing our own experience in relation to that with that consistent level of communication, that for me is the most important thing that we can provide our teams.
So Laura, is there anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, so I think for me as a leader, what I've been stressing, in particularly at this moment, is encouraging well-being. So just making sure, kind of going back to my top tips of getting that thinking time and sleep and looking after yourself. As a leader, I think we need to just make sure we are encouraging our teams to also do that well, showing by example, as well as encouraging your teams through conversations that you're having. So, for example, back at Easter time, I was supposed to be flying to the States for our family holiday. That obviously couldn't happen, but we did still take the time off to spend as a family. And it was a great week and time off, and it was nice to just step away from the laptop for a whole week, and I felt refreshed when I came back. And I made sure to come back and encourage my team to take a holiday. You know, it's a tough time when you can't travel at the moment, and so people don't really want to. I'll save my holiday till later in the year. But I gave them some examples, shared some pictures, funny photos, and just said, look, just take some time out and do the same for yourself. The other thing that I'm doing, I have in the UK, we have mental health first aiders, and I'm lucky enough to have one of them in my team. So actually I'm doing a team meeting on Thursday, and I've asked her to do a session on mental health and well-being for my team, to just focus and know that I think that that's a priority for the team, to just take some time out, remind people about the challenge that we're going through and the things that they can do, encouraging the exercise. Whenever I get a chance, I ask people, are you getting exercise? Are you getting out of the house? And it's amazing the number of people that aren't. And I say, you need to go out, just go out in the morning, get that air and get that thinking time. And I also go back to the experiences piece that I mentioned before, that can help improve your resilience. As a leader, sometimes we have to be a bit encouraging of our teams to take on those new experiences, whether it's a new role or a stretch assignment, and we might need to do it in the right way to give them the comfort to take on that challenge, whether it's providing a mentor for the situation or the role, or having more frequent meetings with them to get them through something. So it's really, as a leader, identifying those strengths and pushing people a little bit into getting those experiences that can help manage their resilience better in the future.
Yeah. Okay, that's fantastic. Really good examples from both of you. I really appreciate that.